And then she did the challenge, like your first drag. And she came out and she like just pulled, and there was like just the pasty, and I was like, we got a theme here. Wild boobs.
Yeah.
The day that the whole groove moves the toe and in the hole, we're all going through hard years. Ooh, I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another. DJ Soul was on a roll. I've been told the can't be sold. It's not vicious or malicious, still so lovely and delicious. I couldn't ask for another.
Hi! Yay! Oh my God!
We're back!
We're back, bitches! I'm out of prison.
Yeah.
I'm back on the street.
Yes!
Oh. I'm sorry to our viewers. I took a cruise, and the cruise. We ended up getting quarantined on the ship for 4 weeks, and so I've been on a cruise ship stuck in the coast of Alaska, and I just got released last night. And perfect timing, right?
It's like perfect. Oh my gosh, I have missed you.
I missed you too. It's so good to see your face. Let's do it. Click, 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 click. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been, man, 2020 is like doing it. It's doing the most.
I know. It keeps upping itself. It's like, you know what? I did well here. Let me see if I can do better.
I'm telling you, we were like on a roll, and then COVID-19 was like, nope.
No.
No,
Nope.
take a break, come back.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Oh, what a summer.
Right? But we're here. That was our hiatus. We're back.
Right.
This is season 2.
Yes, we're back. We're back, viewers.
Well, let us get into Canada's Drag Race, because we just finished watching the finale and it has come to an end, and
I know.
we wanted to kind of process the journey that we've been on with like
It was an
inaugural season.
crazy journey. It felt so fast, and a whole season.
It did. It really did.
And I looked to see, I'm like, did anything get cut? No, it was like, actually, these people got eliminated and they had a finale. The only thing they didn't do was that thing where you're like, tweet Ms. Naomi. Like, they didn't have that episode where we had to sit through the,
I'm
like,
glad.
it was all nothing, and then it's a thing.
But we had our winner,
Had a winner.
Priyanka.
Priyanka.
What's my name?
Yes, what's my name? Oh, how? Yeah, I'm very proud of Priyanka.
I am too. I think that was a great choice for a first Canada's Drag Race winner, just because of what she represents and like her background, you know, and who she is. I think that was like the perfect choice. Let's go through the queens overall and just talk about them. I think that would be the best way to do that. They got a chance to walk the runway like they did in All Stars 5, when they all came out and showed off like their...
Wait, can we just talk about that for 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
The glow up in whatever amount of time, because they filmed it all together. Like, it was like a 1 week glow up for some contestants.
Yeah.
But it was their final runway. Everybody looked absolutely incredible. I mean, for what like their version of themselves.
Yeah, for where they came.
Don't get me started on
like,
time, but yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
what are you gonna show up where I can't? Like the dress was just a. But anyways, we'll talk about Teresa Giudice's hairline in a minute. But I 100% felt that everybody had a really good glow up in just a little bit of weeks. But it goes to show you how tough the actually RuPaul's Drag Race is.
Yeah.
Because you don't have time to look your absolute best. You have your time to look best for television.
And
it's totally different.
Yeah, and it's also like big dependent on the challenge. You can bring yourself through a challenge, but you can't always represent yourself to the best in a challenge.
Yeah. Juice boxes first.
Yes. And it was so funny because when they had like the reunion, I was like, who's that chick sitting on the couch with the lilac hair?
I didn't know who she was. Yeah.
I was like, who?
All the highlights and definition. I was like, who is that Lemon?
Yes.
Did I have a seizure?
I was so confused, Kip. I was like, did I miss an episode? Like, was she eliminated first? Wasn't Kind eliminated? Like, I was so confused. And then I was like, I was going down the juice box. Oh, the one with the CDs on her costume.
I'm going to do this definition, and it's going to be like, and you're like, and then she comes out with the sock top, and I've never in my life. Did that whole thing remind you of Phoenix and RuPaul's Drag Race? Every time we that's RuPaul's Drag Phoenix and Sonique.
Okay.
Like, when I saw them, I'm like, where have I seen this? Where it's Phoenix and Sonique. Phoenix and Sonique. Like, they just reminded me. I still have, like, the Phoenix crushing up the Christmas ball onto her thing. It's
and
like,
then like it was like the copying of the. You're right.
Of Raja, like you could ever.
Yes, I do remember that. But yeah, I mean, Juice Box. Obviously, we can't say much about her because she was there for one episode, and it's kind of sad when somebody has to be the first one eliminated, because you do want to see more from them.
Right. And I did. I kind of felt that whole elimination was kind of like, maybe they should have. I mean, maybe the budget will be bigger, but I definitely think that, maybe they both should have just stayed and then everybody get eliminated from then on.
I think they should have stayed. I personally don't think that elimination was fair. That was also because I was still reeling from Kind's attitude, and I really didn't like Kind, and I felt like she should have been in the bottom and just been sent home the first. But again, that's what makes TV. But she was the second to go, and rightfully so.
And Juice Box was so hot. Boy, Juice Box was the hottest one. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe Juice Box Boy to Juice Box, the character. Like, I was like, what a transformation. And I honestly, like, Juice Box went home looking the worst she probably ever has looked. She is a beautiful queen. Like, her entrance was good. Like, we lost her, and so now we'll never. She's gonna be pork chop though. She's the Canadian pork chop.
Yeah, first one out. So
first one out.
But I mean, she came back for the finale and she looked stunning. Cause to the point where we were like, was she even in this competition? I low-key thought she was like a host or something. Like, you know how they have, like, those TV personalities who are in the lounge with everyone? Like, I low-key thought it was her. Like, I'm like, do I know her? She's, like, some Canadian, like, royalty or something? Like, who is she? Because...
Is that Cat Dealing?
Kind. With her Ursula makeup and her Matrix leather outfit needed to go with her attitude. I just... No. You
don't get to have that much attitude and a hairline. I mean, it was the worst hairline I've ever seen in Drag Race. Her wigs. It was just like that. It was like wig. Like, I was like, who put a Giudice on my television? How? It was. I was shocked by her hairline. I was shocked that nobody read her for her hairline.
They didn't have time to read it for her hairline because they were reading her for her attitude and her horrible catwalk, her runway walk.
Oh my god! I know. Yeah, she was like those you know the Lion. Do you ever see the musical production of the Lion King? She was like she walked like she was one of those giraffes.
Yes, yes. It's the circle of life.
Wait, hold on. It's the circle of life. It's like, oh my god, girl, blend.
But then she comes out for the finale, and she looked good. But her dress looked like she went into her mom's closet and pulled out like her 80s prom dress with the bolero. I'm like, what is that?
I don't know. That was the one that, because I was like high fiving everybody. And then she came out. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you a self-hating drag queen? Do you want people to just like? I could not believe that was what she considered her finale.
No, absolutely not. She,
Is she like young? She's like 11.
She's
right?
21, according to this.
Oh.
Yeah. She's like, so yeah, 11.
Yeah, it's 21 is 11 and 8. Maybe a mature 15, or, but yeah. But you know what that shows me? If they ever do a Canada's All Stars, I think she should be on, because I bet that she is going to find her. She just didn't have her voice. She had her speaking voice, her like attitude voice, but she didn't have her who she is.
Yeah, she wasn't there yet. She hasn't found it yet. Then we had Anastasia Anakwe.
Oh my god. I felt like we were in the presence of like, what were you going to say?
No, she was stunning. What I was going to say was, in the workroom, when they were all in there and like kikiing, and she was not having it. Right. She was like, I really don't want to be here, but I gotta be here. She didn't say anything. She didn't blink. She didn't clap. She didn't laugh. Like, she was so salty. She was just like, y'all sent me home too soon.
Right. Here's the thing though, if this happened a few years ago, she would have been in the top. It was such a shock. I knew she was going to go because but she kind of carried herself like a BB.
She reminded me of BB Zahara.
I thought there was this. She was quite regal, and she carried herself with pride. A lot of pride, and I mean, she put the thing on, like she did it, whatever it took. Like, she took risks with the hair runway, and when she got. I think that there's a place for her. I felt like she went home too soon, but I couldn't have put anybody else.
Yeah, I couldn't replace her with anyone else. That was the thing. Yeah,
so she had to go home.
It was right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely the right time for her to go home, unfortunately, based on where the rest of the competition was at.
Right.
But she came back and she was stunning. I also liked her drag name, Anastasia Anakwe. I just like saying it. Anakwe.
Yeah. Right? I'm just double Kip.
Double Kip.
Wait, somewhere in the world, Jan is watching this, Jan. And she's like, ugh.
The Jan face.
But yes, I was sad to see her go, but I wouldn't, if I couldn't place it to go anywhere else.
Yeah, agreed. And then,
but I was grateful that I felt like she graced us.
Yeah.
And I wanted more. I wanted to know more. I was very interested in her story. So
I think it was a perfect person to have on the first season of Canada's Drag Race. It was a great representation. So
yes.
Her and then Tynomi Banks, they clearly are legends. For the Canadian drag suite, they're like the Latrice Royale, of like the drag scene.
Yeah.
So to have Tainomi, who again had a similar kind of air, and people were like, "Oh, she's the one to beat. Like she is,
right?
Like I worship her," And then to see them like struggle so much, it was a little sad. But again, you understand why.
Unfortunately, like they're not crowning Bianca Del Rio's anymore. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It tends to kind of be the skew younger. But Tainomi was amazing too. Beautiful too. I mean, strikingly beautiful. I always loved her. Like, when they did her talking head as boy Tainomi, and then that was drag. That was a change. That was a huge change. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah, she was stunning. I just really liked her on-screen presence. And it really did break my heart when you like really saw her break down and see how she was struggling. It was. Do you remember her elimination? Like, do you remember when she lip synced against was it Iona? But what is her name? Ilona.
I just call her Ione Sky.
Ilona Verley. But do you remember when Ilona was like, "I can't lip sync against you. I can't do it." And Tainomi's like, "Girl, it's my moment. Calm down."
Yes.
I was like, you tell her, Tainomi, this is my moment. I know I'm going home, but this is my moment. Don't be taking it up with your crying and your sobbing and your boo-hooing that you don't want to lip sync against me. You got to do this. This is how I go home.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was tough to watch on many levels. We could get into it because when talk later. But yeah, just breezing by that one, it was. I would say that was a shocking elimination. And I also felt like they were like. Remember, they were said, "What's wrong? I've noticed this for the whole season," and she's like, "The whole season?" Like she was just having a bad day, and they're like, "No. Your spark went out the day you walked in here. In fact, we have medics surrounding your door." She's like, "What?" And then she believed it, and then it settled on her. But I'm like, don't give her that. She's having a bad day.
Oh Lord, yeah, no, it was really heartbreaking. Then Kiara, who was one of the two francophone contestants, I liked Kiara. Kiara was quiet. It seems to me that the French Canadian drag queens are definitely quieter.
Right.
And it's probably because of the language barrier. That probably has a lot to do with it. But Kiara it was some challenge. They had like a comedy or acting challenge. And she crushed it. And I was cracking up. I was like, okay, now she's waking up. She's here now. She's competing.
Yep.
But her runways were always just kind of not quite there.
Right.
But she went at the right time, I think.
Yeah. No complaints about that she was here or that she left when she did. Another one. I was really. I felt I really liked the cast as a whole, and so there was nobody that I other than Kind just wanted to.
True.
I mean, she just should have walked in with a sign saying, "You're all gonna hate me, and I'm gonna make that happen." She could have been she was trying.
She
hard
was
to
trying.
Make us,
She was.
Yeah.
She definitely was trying to be the BITCH of the season.
I'm a mother. How dare you spell out swears?
And then we had Boa. So Boa, the comedic slapstick, I kind of felt like she was going to make it a lot further.
I absolutely did too. I guess I just negated everything I said. But prior to this, she was amazing. What an amazing queen to have. And they when she came on, they kind of framed her as a problem. Mm-hmm. Remember, they were like, "Oh, we know about Boa. Everybody hates her. She's a real this and that." And I was like, how could this when? Because she really just was such a funny beautiful, open. You know, it was really great. And I mean, boob.
Yes!
Like, she could not get a boob to work. There was that one time that her boobs did what they should have done.
Yeah, no, I thought when she did the first challenge, I think it was like the potato, like they had to use like the potato.
You're right.
And I was like, wait, how? Why?
And then she did the challenge, like your first drag. And then she came out and she like just pulled, and there was like just the pasty, and I was like, we got a theme here. Wild boobs.
Yes. But I was always so excited to see what she brought, and I thought she was such a strong contestant. So when she did end up in the bottom, I was like pretty shocked. Like, cause did she lip sync against Ilona?
Yeah.
She lip sync against Ilona, and I thought Ilona was going home. I thought they were gonna save Boa.
I mean, I thought Iona was going home the other time that she lip synced, but that's just what...
Right?
Yeah.
No, exactly. So I was really sad to see her go, but again, I understand. I still was kind of stunned though, because I felt like of the contestants that was still there, she shouldn't have gone home before Ilona.
No, you gotta keep Boa around.
Yeah, keep her around.
Um,
Then Ilona finally came around and got eliminated, and it was like a sigh of relief for me. I was like, oh God, thank God.
And for her too. I felt like it was like Munchausen's. She was like, release her, please. She just was ready. And but she was dealing with so much.
Right. Yes. And so.
And she was so.
It was not a great time for her.
No. Yeah, she was not having a.
Yeah, I agree with that. We all know they weren't gonna send home Priyanka. Let's be honest.
No, my God. Heart of gold.
Yeah, you don't send home Priyanka though. No, she's good TV. Like, I lived for her talking heads. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Lemon was a little bit of a shocker for me at the time.
That Andrew Reynolds is now a drag queen. Is that his name? Andrew Reynolds? Yes, yeah. That Andrew Reynolds. Every talking head, I'm like, that's Andrew Reynolds. When Tori Spelling auditioned under an assumed name for 90210 so that her father, she could... It was like Andrew Reynolds is on our Drag Race and he's just saying that his name... what's it? Christian... What about...
Christopher,
no, it was Andrew Reynolds.
Christopher Elliott Baptista.
No, Andrew Reynolds.
Yeah, no, But, remember that episode with the pageant? And they had to do the pageant runway? And she won?
I try to forget that. That whole episode.
Do you really think she should have won?
Somebody had to ride that nonsense right out the rodeo, and it might as well have been Lemon. I
was like, what? She won? The cupcake dress didn't even look like the legit pageant cupcake dress. There was so much tulle. I was like, even if you're dragging it up, it doesn't work, personally.
No.
But,
nope.
Yeah, she won the challenge, so good for her. But then, I was a little stunned that she got sent home because I had a feeling that they were kind of grooming her to kind of be in the top 3. That's kind of how I felt, knowing that she was like a New York queen or an American queen from Canada. But...
Do you know what I wondered when she told her story? She was like, I'm from, New York. And I thought, did she audition for season 12? And they were like, listen, we want you, but how about we do this? And so it was like, I was like, did she get to pick?
It feels like it.
Or did they tell her? Because I could not imagine why we have not seen Lemon on
regular
RuPaul's Drag Race, the first iteration.
Her and Jan are apparently pretty close. Obviously, all the New York queens are, but they seem pretty close. So they probably didn't even want to have them on that season, knowing that what's her face was also on that season, the one that Jan was crying over when she lost her challenge.
They didn't want another season 8. New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, and we all work together. Except for Acid Betty, who is a Brooklyn queen.
Say what you want. I loved Acid Betty.
Oh, I did
She was
too.
such a rebel, and I loved it. And Jimbo went next. Can I just clutch my pearls for 2 seconds? Because I was shocked at that elimination as well. And I was only shocked because I didn't expect Jimbo to go home before Scarlett Bobo ever went home. But because Jimbo and Rita Baga lip synced together, I would not have wanted to send home. I would not have sent home Rita Baga. So I understand, but it was just I was like, I don't think Scarlett Bobo deserves to be in this competition still over Jimbo.
I felt like they were, and forgive me because I'm not trying to boil queens down to a thing, but I felt like, they were both Jimbo, Scarlett, like they were their type. And I felt like Jimbo was...
the better of the...
Until, hindsight's 2020, but at the time I was like, oh my God, they... Also, can I just tell you something? Why am I so attracted to Jimbo?
Because he's a zaddy.
Oh my God. I mean, that's like...
When he came out of drag, that was the first one I was like... Oh, yeah.
Hello, right?
Yeah, Jimbo was like the one.
Yeah, I know. Like, he's not, like, he was not a handsome man, but he's a sexy man. Like, there's just this, like, so, yes. Wait.
Yes.
But yeah, so I was shocked. And I think a lot of Jimbo was Jimbo. So,
yeah.
Like, he was such a part of his drag, and his drag was such a part of him, and it was this artistic expression, and so it was a shock to see him go at all.
Yeah, I was pretty stunned, but then I was also... It's like, when you hear who's in the bottom two, you're like, oh, well then we know who's going home, because they're not going to send home the other person, but then you kind of wish that Scarlett Bobo was in the bottom two with him, so that they could save Jimbo, but...
Right.
It kind of sucked, but what challenges can I think of that he the very first challenge that they had where they had to make he had the plastic, that was his, did he have plastic?
Yes.
And he made it was great. I was like, oh, this is a contender.
Yep. And his entrance climbing up the hill and screaming. That was... Oh my God, it was so perfect. It was just... I loved every minute of Jimbo on my screen.
Same. I really loved his drag. I loved that he was the slut. Even when they did the pageant and he was so he was great. He was 100%, and that's his thing, improv, entertaining live. So it was really, I was kind of like, oh, Jimbo.
Wait, and how about that baller move where he's like, okay, I'll be the queen and you two will be the knight who end up in the bottom. I was like, what a genius. What a genius. You guys go out before me and then I will enter the, oh my God. Yeah.
Scarlett Bobo. So, Scarlett Bobo coasted for me, and her thing all the time was oh, I've never been in the bottom, I've always been... That's not something you should be proud of, that you've been safe this entire competition. You know, you should have won at least won your first challenge at least halfway through the competition to really be considered a contender, in my opinion. And so he didn't win his challenge until last week, but can I just say that I used to call Scarlett Bobo Thorgy Thor?
My God.
because they really used to set up Scarlett every week to make him think he was gonna win.
Right.
And they'd be like, oh, you're amazing. Oh, now we're just getting into the next part of it, but your look is so great. And he's like, oh, I really think I got this in the bag. And then it's the Bob versus Thorgy kind of thing where it's and the winner is Bob.
Oh, right? Yeah. But I mean, technically, she skated herself right to the top 3.
I'm like,
have we ever seen a queen do that?
no. The only queen that I know that's never had to lip sync for their life and made it to top 3. Oh, I think there's 2 of them. I think it's Bianca Del Rio, but she won challenges.
Right.
And I think Courtney Act. I don't think Courtney Act ever had to lip sync for her life.
And was it true Alaska didn't as well? In that first season?
Season 5?
Yeah, she was never in the bottom 2.
Yeah, she was never
Alaska.
in the bottom 2.
But they were winning. They were killing it. Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's not really something you should be proud of if you watch the other seasons of Drag Race. Like, you're coasting, and you're a filler, literally. Filler.
Like, yeah.
You know, like.
My God.
So I did appreciate what she had to bring to the table, and she was entertaining, you know. I just liked her spirit, but Jimbo should have been in that top 3 spot at least, to me.
Agreed. Yeah, she didn't so much as place top 3 as they forgot about her in the van.
Yes, exactly. They're like, oh yeah.
Scarlet Bubble. Oh yeah. Yes. Come.
No, that's exactly it. So yeah, Rita Baga. I loved Rita Baga.
I didn't want to when she walked in. I was
same.
like, oh, you know,
snooty French Canadian, like.
But I lived forever, and she was up to the challenge.
She was.
She did not care. She did not carry herself like she did whatever they asked, and even if she failed, she failed with every bone in her body.
And I'm not even gonna lie, the very first challenge, because she won the very first challenge, the maxi challenge, and I remember she won, and I was like, no,
yeah,
I don't think that's a winning look.
Yeah,
but the more as the season went, I was like, you know what, I see it. Yep. She's definitely like the winner or the top. You know, like she's already proving herself. And I lived for her talking heads with her French. You know, like she was so like shady and like funny and like with the bad guy. You know, like I speak French.
Well, and she kept referring to herself, and I had to look at her age, and I'm like, wait, this is not.
She's
like
younger than me.
Like, what are you doing?
About, like, I'm a drag mom, and I'm like, are you 40? Like, are you Tainomi Banks' age? Like, she's baby. 32. Yeah. 32. Oh, girl. But I loved it. I loved her looks.
How about that?
The padding, though, did need that little bit of work, though. Oh. I'm not gonna lie. She got that man body, like, you know, like the blonde, like you could see it. So I get it, but.
Well, Shakira told us hips don't lie.
But the finale, like I will say when they did what's the song that they did for? It's not Read You Wrote You, obviously, but what was the song that they did?
Oh God! You know what? I checked right there. Dancing, bring it on, you wear it well.
Yeah.
I was kind of pissed that they didn't get their own song.
Same.
Like they're using like 3 seasons go song.
Yeah,
for the runway and all
it's also because Rue's not dropping music as frequently as what was his last album?
Wait, would you have died if their season theme was peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter?
I would have been annoyed at that. I'd be like, no, that's way too far back.
Right.
But yeah, no, I like the You Wear It Well. I just really did wish it was their own song. Wouldn't it have been funny if it was I am American. Because you know that was like season 12. Season 12.
That would have been genius.
Because I love that
Dear
song.
Wow presents.
Because that's
God.
my song. And I'm so glad that they brought it back since it's an election year. Right. For All Stars and the regular season. And I was just like, yeah, that's my jam. But that would have been funny if they were like, well, since we have this theme going, I am, or maybe they should have changed it, redubbed it, like, I am Canadian.
Oh my God. Through gritted teeth. Every lip sync for your life should have been to that song.
But I kind of do wish they had their own song, but all that aside,
give them a song. Give them a song.
They got a song. And my friend made a very good point about the song that they had to do for the finale, like their verses. She was saying this season feels more like an All-Stars type of season than it does a regular season. And the more I kind of went through the challenges and I kind of went through like the approach, I was like, it does feel more like an All-Stars formula of a season than it does a regular season. So yeah.
Which is a tough season. And like when you think of the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race, everything was a lot more low key.
Yeah.
I mean, they put them out in All-Stars challenges.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're going to do a complete production about women voting, and you're going to do they did that the second episode. It was like, oh my God, that's like a 6-person challenge or a 4%. They had the whole group.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I was like, that's a good point, and I didn't even notice it until she said it. And I was like, you're right. This is, and maybe that's why I can say I did enjoy this season a lot more. For several reasons, and we'll get into that. But yeah, and then we had our winner, Priyanka.
What's my name?
Priyanka.
She was special. I will say that she was very special. And I honestly thought maybe Rita Baga was gonna.
I thought so too.
Well, I thought when Priyanka did her pleading her case, you
think that's when they sold it?
Won. I mean, what she said was so moving. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard something like that in a long, long time, and it was moving. I was moved. Truly.
Yeah, hers was the most moving. You are correct. But I still really thought, as much as I loved Rita Baga, and I thought Rita Baga kind of had it in the bagger.
Yep.
When they did their challenge, their singing challenge, Priyanka just owned it. Priyanka was the star and they were the backups. Even though they had their own verses, Priyanka still owned every inch of that stage, because when they were doing the choreography, you could see Scarlett Bobo and Rita Baga in their heads a little bit. They were still thinking about the choreography. It just wasn't, but Priyanka was smiling the entire time. She was living her best life. She's like, this is my music video. Hey, swinging that ponytail. She was in it. And I was like, this is, you know what, Rita Baga, I love you, but this is low-key Priyanka's. And then, Rita Baga said her thing, and she's like, facts are facts. I've won 3 challenges. And I thought it was endearing, but I was like, And then Scarlett Bobo, I was like, oh, you ain't even in the running for me, so I'll listen to you, but you're gone.
Right.
And then Priyanka, like you said, what she said was the most genuine and probably the deep, it touched the most. And I love that she said that. That's why that's why I say, what's my name? Because I want people to know that, and I think she said it during her runway, but she's like, that's why I named myself Priyanka, because I want people to know that I'm from an West Indian background, and it was beautiful. She was the queen that they deserved, and she made it all the way. Even with her little downfall, she picked herself back up, brushed herself off, and that's what she was saying. I can show people that even when you fall down, like, you can still do it.
Yes. Yeah. That was yeah. And she did, and she does. I would not have clocked her as the winner on episode 1.
No.
At all.
No.
But the more it went by, everything made sense with her. Everything really made sense with her. Even her bottom twos and her, it all made perfect sense.
Did.
There was, yeah.
It definitely did.
Great story, great art.
Yeah, and I did like her her background. Like, oh, I was a kid's TV personality. I mean, of all the things, right? And then
Right?
now she's on Drag Race, and she's like, I hope those kids, it's a different audience or a different way of seeing me. And I really hope her parents kind of like understand, because I know that culture is kind of like,
Right. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, $100,000 makes everything.
I know. Did you hear her?
Kind of mend
Did
some
you hear? She's
fences.
like,
Yeah.
I'm rich. Yeah, it's like 71. I wrote it down. It's like $71,000 US.
Do they have taxes?
I'm sure they. Yes, I'm sure they do. Yes, they do.
Wow. Because that's probably what our queens walk home with after taxes anyway. So they're like, oh yeah, we'll do it in Canadian.
Hey, it's better than UK. UK got bragging rights and
Yes.
Blue Peter badges. Blue Peter. But that's only because it was on BBC, and BBC's, so hopefully they find another network, and then they can actually give prize money, because £100,000 would be lit.
Right? When I went to London and I did the money conversion and they handed me all my money back in pence and pounds, I was like, oh, I'm the queen.
Oh gosh, but yeah, it was a great season. I enjoyed it.
I agree.
It was a great, contestant-wise, it was a great inaugural season for Canada's Drag Race, and I really do hope that those queens go on to bigger and better things, and we hear more from them.
Yes.